Hello everyone and welcome back to another unboxing slash review. Today we've got Rider of Black, or Astolfo, from Fate Apocrypha. It was a bit of a mission to get him here, so I essentially bought this from Amazon. I think I did mention this in the previous video, but just in case you hadn't seen it, let's do a quick recap. I bought it from Amazon, paid for DHL, and then the seller tried to send it through regular Japanese mail, but of course, as we know, shipping delays are still on, so that didn't work. But now they've gone and relisted the item with the DHL price, as in an increased price. Like, I paid for DHL shipping. It was crazy expensive, but I was like, screw it, this is the last figure I need, I'll just do it. But I think they were trying to cheap out and just send it through Japanese mail normally, as you would with usual stuff, and charge and take the extra shipping fees for themselves. I tried to message them, they didn't answer, and so I just contacted one of the other people on eBay that I bought from. He's been super helpful for a lot of these Fate figures and tracking them down for me, and I was like, hey, could you get me a Astolfo? And he was like, heck yeah, I can do that. So came through pretty quickly. I think it was about like 2 weeks that it took to get here, but he sorted me out, so now we've got Astolfo. I believe this is the last Fate Apocrypha figure in the Fate line, at least, of Nendoroids. I'm pretty sure there's no one I'm missing right now, so I can complete that shelf off, which would be good. So let's crack into him and see him in all his trap glory. Traps aren't gay. You can't catch me, gay thoughts. All of that stuff. I mean, Astolfo doesn't really hide the fact that he's a guy. He's just a very pretty looking guy. One of the Knights of Charlemagne, I believe it is. I believe Charlemagne is in Fate Extra as well. I think he was in Fate Extella Link, if I'm not mistaken. The one I played, that one on the Switch, like for 5 minutes before. It just didn't work. Okay, what do we have instructions wise? Very good. All simple stuff by the looks of it. Hopefully he will be just as easy to put together as he looks. Do we have tape somewhere? I don't think we do. There we go. We pulled off the plastic already. Okay, let's get him out. Be free. Oh, it's gone. What was that? Oh god, where did it go? I think the little bow, it's under my table. Give me a second. I gotta get down there. Here we go. Almost got it. There we go. Okay, well, good to know. That didn't break off, that just fell off. So, watch out for that when opening stuff. There we go. I guess the bows in his hair come off too. Oh, actually, I didn't really notice the white in his hair. Is that just like, is that hair or is that something else? It must be, because I'm pretty sure Charlemagne also has the white in his hair. Maybe that's just like a thing for the Knights of Charlemagne. I know there's more, I don't know who they are though. Because I don't think they've got characters, in Fate at least. Oh boy, there's a lot to him here. We got cloak and everything. Let's get a better angle, shall we? Let's see. Also on my way home I had an interesting conversation with a guy. So I took an Uber home, and he was telling me about his business and all of that, and how he wants to. So essentially, what he's doing is like it's a soil solution. So for plants and all of that, it'll end up making yields, like harvests better yields. It'll give more nutrition to soil, like super cheap prices. So he's been starting up like a business, like an online business and all of that. And we ended up talking about social media and all of that, and he maybe is offering me a job. He kind of wants to know like what angle he should take for social media and if I'd be able to do something like that. To which I was like, yeah, I can do something like that. Should be pretty straightforward. So that's all kind of exciting, honestly. Might get myself another job right there, doing social media marketing manager. That'd be interesting. But we will see where it goes. But for now, let's get a Stolfo together. Come on, buddy. You can do this without breaking your arms off. I believe in you. I believe in us. I'm too afraid now. Is your head in? No, it's not. Come on. There we go. That's better. That looks right. Kinda. Yeah. Look at that smile. That cheerful smile. Honestly, Astolfo was like kind of the real main character. Who watched Fate Apocrypha and didn't like Astolfo? He was just a great character all around. Very cool indeed. I don't actually have him in the game, but who knows, maybe he'll come to me. I know the shop has a costume for his like casual outfit, so that would be cool. I haven't bought it because 1,000 mana prisms is a lot for a costume I can't actually use. But let us move on to the rest of him. Okay. I think he was also called like the Trap of Treefuss or something like that. Or a Gotham or something similar. He's even got the little tooth thing. Very cute. Honestly, you could probably just swap this out for any girl figure as well and it would fit just right in. Look, he's even got a blush one. Traps aren't gay, traps aren't gay. Say it with me. Okay, what do we have here? Looks like we've got his lance. Being the lancer he is. I mean, rider. I don't remember what this is, but it's pretty well detailed, honestly. Or what its name is, rather. And then we've got that horn over there as well. I think he used that to call the hippogriff. Of course, we've got his sword unsheathed, which I would assume that means this can come off here, the hilt. And then around the back here, we have a couple extra stuff as well. What do we have? Of course, we've got the base and the arm and the extra neck piece as well, as always. But what is back here? Let's be careful not to tear everything off. This is a couple extra arms and I guess his cloak flying in the wind for specific poses, I guess. Very cool, but it looks like that is all there is to see here. So let us move on to some poses, shall we? Alright, here is our first pose. It's Astolfo looking down lovingly at the horn. I don't really get this pose. Like, I get that it summons a hippogriff. Maybe he's thinking of the hippogriff and like all the good times they've been together. But I don't know. Honestly, I'm not a real fan of this pose, but I figured I'd show it off anyway because it's really the only one with the horn. There isn't really like a blowing horn pose or anything. Would have been cool if they had like a hippogriff to ride on. That would have been really cool. But oh well. So all it's really doing is you take off the cloak and put on the horn in his sword hand. Pretty much that goes through the gap, and then have him hold it with the other hand, which also doesn't. If you look at it straight on or from this side, it doesn't look like he's actually holding it. But if you've got it at this angle, like on the box, then it does sort of look like he's holding it. So it sort of works. But again, I'm not too big of a fan. So let us move on to the next pose. Alright, next time is Peace Sign Astolfo with Wink. Very cute indeed. Honestly, I'm a big fan of this face plate. It's super cool. Plus the peace sign just makes it even cooler. I really like it. But as much as I like it, I think I like something else better. But anyway, the way this works is it's essentially using the same bent arm as before. All I really did was swap out the hand for a peace sign and then put the default hand back on over there and then swap the faceplate and then move the head to the side. And there you go, bam, easy does it, right? Pretty easy. So of course you could also put the cloak on for this one. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what the point of this cloak is. Like, I've looked at it and there aren't any poses that use it on the box art. So maybe it's for like your own pose if you want to have him look like he's flying or something with his cape in the air. but honestly, the default one just kind of, it does the trick. It bends a bit more and stuff, so I'll probably just end up using this one for the last pose. But I guess it's a nice little include anyway. Anyway, let us move on to the final pose of the day. Alright, here is our last pose for Astolfo. This one actually took quite a bit of time. So the way it works, I have to figure out how this thing works here, the arm. So there's kind of like a little cutout of the arm, so it can let the cape on. I don't want to turn it upside down too much, but let's see if we can get an angle. As you can see over there, there's like a little cutout to let the cape through, which couldn't figure out at first. I tried different angles. I tried it upside down and just couldn't figure it out. But essentially, he only really stands in the middle. You can have him at either back peg here or here, but he has to be at the very last one of the base for it to work. And then it was a pain to get the cloak on with these arms. It does show the cloak being further down when he does this, but I don't think that's possible because this arm is in the way of this part here, so it won't bend any further down. So no real big deal. I mean, it makes more sense to have his cloak out because he's got his arms stretched out holding the lance. But all in all, it's pretty cool. And then of course you've got this hand here resting on his sword, which is sheathed and on his side. So honestly, it's a very cool pose. It's a pain to get right, but once you do, it's pretty satisfying, cool looking. So I'm pretty happy. So let us get on to review portion. So I mean, immediately I'm taking a point off for poseability because that is something he is not. He is a pain in the ass, quite literally. So I'm going to take off a point for that. I'm going to take off a point for the cloak. Honestly, I felt like I could break the cloak at any time, as well as I'm going to take off a point for this thing here. So pushing it through this arm was a lot harder than you think. And because of how thin it is, it felt like it was going to snap constantly. So going to take off one more point for that. But other than that, everything else is pretty great about Astolfo. Honestly, if you can go pick him up, definitely do, because he's a great Nendoroid. But overall, he's going to get a 7 out of 10, which honestly is a decent score. Pretty good in my opinion. So that's going to do it for this one and this week's video. So I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, as always, leave a like and subscribe for more Nendoroid content. And I will see you all in next week's video. Alright, catch you then. Bye!